Okay, in our simple interest part 2 video, we're going to discuss the differences between investing and borrowing money. Okay, so as you guys will be opening bank accounts and earning paychecks, hopefully soon, you'll be becoming more familiar with things like this. So the bank will pay interest on the money you have in the bank. One way to do it is the minimum monthly balance. The bank will pay interest for the month on the minimum balance you had in the account for that month. So if you put $1,000 in, but you took a bunch out and you were left with $200 and you end up putting another $300 in, so at the end of the month you had $500 in your account, they would pay the interest only on the $200 because that was the minimum that you had in there during the month. For example, what interest was earned in January 2016 when the minimum balance of the account was $600 with an interest rate at 6%? Okay, so using our equation from before, interest for January, so we've got our principal amount, or our minimum amount, is $600, and we've represented, so there's our minimum balance, then we've represented our 6% interest rate as decimal as 0.06, number of days in January. So what would our interest be? $3.05. Another way that the bank can charge you interest is your daily balance. The bank will pay interest on the balance in the account for the number of days in that month you had that balance in the account. So let's say you had $600 in the account for 6 days at 6%. So you have $600 times our rate at 0.06 times 6, the amount of days, balance, rate, number of days is at that balance, and your interest is 0.59 for those 6 days. So you earned an extra 60 cents almost during those 6 days. Okay, but in reality, most of us need to borrow money from the bank. We're not always depositing money. So interest to repay. The bank will charge interest on the principal amount borrowed and apply it to the loan before it begins to be repaid. So for example, you borrow $8,000 at 5.4% for 3 years to buy a car. Your equation would look like the interest equaling 8,000 times 0.054, which is 5.4% represented as a decimal, multiplied by 3, because that's the length of the loan. So we've got our principal, our rate, and our time in years. What would the interest be? $1,296. So the total to repay is the $8,000 plus the $1,296, which would be $9,296 total that you would be paying back to the bank.